Are we live now?
No.
10 seconds.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Stop broadcast, restart.
Welcome to Ballistic Radio. I'm your host, John Johnston. Remember, you can always listen to past shows at ballisticradio.com. Get the latest behind-the-scenes info, arguments, silliness, photos that cause people to say really, really wrong things, and other stuff at facebook.com/ballisticradio. Co-hosting with me, Ping Ping.
Yay!
Or Jack Jack.
It's interchangeable now.
It is. And I blame Keith Martin for that.
It's all Keith's fault.
We are going to be talking about appendix inside the waistband carry tonight with Todd Green from pistoltraining.com, which should be cool. And if you're trying to watch the Google Hangouts right now, apparently Google hates me and is not working, and I'm trying to get that up and running, but I have not succeeded so far. So if you're wondering where that's at, that's why we're not live on air there. But, oh yeah, by the way, this segment brought to you by Wilson Combat. Wilson Combat, makers of the finest custom 1911s, ARs, and scatterguns since 1977, a legacy of quality, innovation, and service. Learn more about their firearms and accessories at www.wilsoncombat.com. Without further ado, Todd Green. Todd, how you doing, man? Well, thank you, man. I'm doing surprisingly well. So not bad for a radio show, dude, I guess. But so yeah, other than, well, hopefully I won't hang up on you like 5 or 6 times tonight, like I did the first time you came on the show a couple years ago. So yeah, I don't know about that. But for those that don't know, have missed your previous appearances on the show, can you just say who you are, what you do, and go from there? Perfect. That's nice and concise. So the reason why I wanted to have you on, I posted a photo of me in the car, and I'm in the photo. I'm carrying a Glock 19 with a Unity tactical slide on it that's got like an aim-point T2, just because I'm discovering why I don't like optics on handguns yet again, because I do that every once in a while, and someone will suggest something new, and I experiment with it because, you know, facts and numbers and stuff like that. And it has created this firestorm of various iterations of you're going to shoot yourself in the genitalia. And it occurred to me that there were a lot of things that people say about carrying AIWB, which for those that don't know is if you position the gun somewhere between, you know, if we imagine 12 o'clock is straight in front of us, somewhere in between 12 and 2:30, so forward of the hips. That's what we're talking about. What are your thoughts on AIWB, and why do so many people say things that are just wrong about it? Right. Yeah. Well, and that was, we got about 50 seconds left in the segment, and we'll get into it a little bit more in the next one. But one of the, you know, I can say with all honesty, the reason why I started doing it was because I remember following your tests, your endurance tests with the various test guns, and seeing the success that you had, and you talking about the benefits of the method of carry, and have had a lot of luck with it since then. But you are right. There is certainly, if we have an accident or something like that, the repercussions from that are a lot more, or can be potentially a lot more serious than some other places. We're talking with Todd Green from pistoltraining.com right now. A little bit more about appendix carry when we get back. Right now, you're listening to Ballistic Radio. So now it's working.
Yeah, now we're up. We're not tech guys.
I have no idea why it was.
Sometimes things are going to get funky.
Is that your official diagnosis there?
Look, dude, sometimes things are going to get funky.
Did you like the?
Yeah, just once in college.
Yeah.
Which I don't like, because it comes off of yours that still hasn't shot his junk off, and then mine rolls right into just once in college.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'm
welcome.
not that good of a shot. Reduced size targets really screw me up. Like, I start looking over my sights.
Yeah. Even at contact distance.
It's like fighting a midget.
Can't find it.
Oh, Bob. Bob. What about Bob?
What about Bob?
That movie does not get enough credit.
I hear John and Jack and Charlie.
One minute.
Buckshot, are you with him right now?
I didn't tell you? I'm sorry.
Well, I knew.
No, I'm saying I didn't tell you that I had talked to him.
Yeah, now I'm a little.
I'm sorry. We were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow. I haven't called him because I'm just like, I know he's getting overwhelmed with calls.
Oh, I didn't call him. I don't call people unless I have to.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Ballistic Radio. This segment brought to you by Dark Star Gear. Whether you know the color of the boathouse at Hereford, or only know the color of your mom's basement and earth-crushing disappointment in your lack of success or grandchildren, Darkstar Gear has a solution to your gear carrying needs. Check out their clip-on holster for small semi-autos and revolvers, or their highly adjustable, full-size AIWB holster. They even have a belt-wrap sheath for popular fixed-blade centerline knives to really tie your EDC together, like that one rug I used to have. Designed, developed, and pressure-tested for real life, not Instagram, though Instagram is cool. All the kids are doing it. Find out more at darkstargear.com.
Would you say that all the kids are on Instagram straight flexing?
I mean, there's a couple of me on there straight flexing, so I don't want to like throw stones in a selfie-filled house. We're talking with Todd Green tonight about appendix carry. Now, before the break, Todd, you were saying that it's one of the methods that has entire threads dedicated to talking about things as simple as how do I reholster. Let's go over that a little bit, because one of the things that I hear often, I've even seen like big name personalities come out and say, well, you know, there's no way to safely reholster an appendix position without muzzling yourself, which isn't true, but can you talk about that a little bit? Right. So I think that we get to discover the joys of cell phones and people driving in cars, talking on cell phones.
Sometimes it's going to get a little funky.
Well, no. So it's here's the funny thing about Todd Green on the show is, for whatever reason, he always gets hung up on and all that. Our producer is frantically dialing
The
him
scramble
back.
has begun.
No, that's fine. So here, I was wanting Todd to give us this information because he's way awesomer than I am. But the thing about appendix carry that a lot of people say, oh, you can't reholster without muzzling yourself. Well, no, that's not true. There's a couple things that you can do. And one of them, if you consider that the gun is in front of your hips, if you pretend like you're just going under a real low limbo bar, which I know looks dumb, but push your hips way far out, cant the butt of the gun towards the body, and just sort of slowly feed the muzzle into the mouth of the holster. Wow, this really got bad. This went to a dark place quick. Jack. Todd's back.
Yay!
Good. Man, Todd, you were missing the awesome
Awesome
description.
is one word for it.
Yeah, awesome is one word. Awesome description I was giving for how to safely reholster. You should do better, sir, and go over this for people. Right. Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you this. And you mentioned, you know, looking the gun into the holster. And a lot of people seem to get confused of context of why certain people do certain things. I have heard the argument in the past, well, you know, if you're going hands-on with a suspect and you need to control them and you don't want to take eyes off them or something like that. So it's people taking things from a law enforcement environment and then trying to apply them to this civilian thing we're doing. I mean, have you run into that? Right. Yeah. Right. Wow, our producer is just. I blame you.
I missed the pretty one.
Oh yeah, lady producer does not play things randomly during the show. Oh, he's putting his head down on the desk. I'm teasing, man. I've missed you too.
I'm not.
I'm sorry, Todd. What were you saying before our producer egregiously messed up? Right. Well, and that seems to be something that a lot of people miss out on as well. That when we're talking about things like reholstering the gun or reholstering the gun under stress, I had an incident about, well, let's see, before my daughter was born, actually. So 16, 17 months ago, where I had to draw and fire a shot in relation to a dog. And due to the situation and some other things that were going on, needed to reholster after that to continue a conversation with the owner of the dog that I did not want to do with a gun in my hand for multiple reasons. And ended up reholstering the gun, decocked the gun. I mean, I don't remember doing it, but I did it safely, one-handed, while, you know, if I looked, I don't remember doing it while I was controlling my dog, you know, seeing where this other dog had gone and all sorts of things. But if you really practice your manipulations and in general your weapons handling skills and ingrain those good habits, that's what you tend to fall back on, right? Well, and that's, you know, it's back into that whole unconscious competence, conscious competence, and things like that. You know, that I guess people don't want to talk about a lot because that takes practice and hard work. So what are some of the advantages compared to traditional behind the hip carry that appendix carry has? What are some of the disadvantages? I mean, we got about 2 minutes left in this segment, so we'll have to get into it a little bit more next one. But what are the pluses and minuses? Right, right, right. Let me hold that thought because we got to go to break right now. We're talking with Todd Green from pistoltraining.com. You're listening to Ballistic Radio.
Why were you pointing at me?
What?
Why were you pointing at me?
Lady producer was in there.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, hey, where'd she go? She left. Hey!
What's up?
He's messing up in there. We got to switch. Kick him out. You sit down. We'll do the show. It'll be better.
Hey, you guys got half an hour left. You can deal with it.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
I'll be in here yelling at him if he messes up.
So salty.
He's like too scared to talk on air, too. I don't know.
I don't blame him.
I guess. I've missed you, too, man. He doesn't believe me. We're not friends on Facebook. If you were friends on Facebook with me, I'd miss you more. Why aren't we friends? Why? Tell me.
I don't know.
Because
I really expected a honky to be at the end of that.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Still haven't shot my junk off.
Not yet.
Believe me, you guys will be the first to know. Because Jack will take a video as I bleed out. Hey, maybe this appendix carry thing is...
As I'm like putting it behind my hip, like, yeah, I knew this was all going to happen this way. Buckshot, we need to do that again.
Meow.
Meow, meow, meow. Gotta hope this isn't the vet penis ad.
Let's open up here, Dave. Do you or your partner suffer from Crohn's disease, a serious condition that may... Wow. Anyway.
Oh, God. Did you see the thing that Tamara posted today?
Oh, about
The guitars.
yeah. I don't play guitar, but I'm gonna write about them anyway. Maybe I'll get some free ones.
Most clueless people in the world write for gun magazines.
Let's not have this conversation right now. But yes, in general, I agree with you. I mean, I've written for gun magazines, so yeah, clearly. Oh my God, it's the Vegas Choke Slam. We just saw this guy.
Oh yeah, him.
Here it is.
Oh God. Well,
We just saw this guy.
That dude's my hero.
Why is my nose bleeding? Why am I on the ground?
Why is swallowing painful?
What she said? That wasn't funny at all.
Yeah,
It's terrible. Welcome back to Ballistic Radio. This segment brought to you by TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com is your web source for fine firearms parts and accessories. True product specialists committed to delivering the highest level of customer support to you. They carry top name brands including Ed Brown, Wilson Combat, Les Bear, 6 Hour, and many more, as well as premium AR pattern rifles. Whether you are looking to protect yourself or a first-time gun buyer or competitive shooter, TopGunSupply.com can satisfy your firearms needs. TopGunSupply.com, your premier source for SIG parts and accessories. So we are talking with Todd Green from PistolTraining.com about appendix carry. Todd, have I hung up on you yet, or have you hung up on me? Well, that one time. I mean, it dropped the call, but we won't count that. So, I guess. You were talking before the, not a laugh at all. Jeez. I'm sorry that my jokes are not funny tonight, Todd, or any night, really. So you were talking before the break that, you know, some of the advantages to carrying appendix, some of the disadvantages. The main one seems to, like you said, revolve around safety and maybe people recognizing that they could make a mistake. I mean, I've noticed that people don't like doing that. They don't like talking about, well, I might mess up. Yeah. Right. So let's say that somebody decides that they want to try out appendix carry. What are some of the things to look for as far as, you know, holsters, belts, how high you wear your pants? I mean, what are some of the tips and tricks that if you're going to try this, may or may not help you out? Right. Yeah. So, other than with any holster that we use, except for very, very limited circumstances, for very special, needs, we want a holster that the mouth is rigid, does not collapse. For appendix carry, I mean, neutral can't, reverse can't, not so much of a forward can't. Um, yeah, right, right, right. Well, and the other thing that seems to matter a lot too is going to be how high you wear your pants, and also, well, I was going to say having a belt that is infinitely adjustable seems to help as well. Just, yeah, well, and there's, I want to say Mean Gene Leather is now doing a leather belt with the Aries Aegis buckle, I want to say it is. So you can, if you're into leather or whatever, here. And full disclosure, I've not used their belt. I don't know the quality or that, but I know a lot of people that are friends of mine have had a lot of luck with them, and I generally trust their judgment. So don't take this as a personal endorsement, but if you're looking for something like that, maybe go check them out, and that's one way around that. It seems like people wear their pants too low as well when yeah, right. Well, and so that's something else that a lot of people, and I know you already mentioned this at the beginning of the show. We've got about a minute and a half left, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. But the comfort was the biggest surprise for me. Is that for me personally, and I'm 6'2" and about 200 and after the Vegas trip, 60 pounds because we ate too much out there. And I don't have a problem because I've got a holster that's set up well. I just got done taking a 37-hour straight van ride because we drove to and from Vegas, and I had a Glock 19 with an X300 Ultra on the entire trip, and it was fine. So I don't. Yes, exactly, and that seems to be the part that a lot of people miss. I know personally, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're still using JM Custom Kydex, I want to say. Um, uh, right. So 5-shot JM Custom Kydex, Keeper's Concealment. Clearly, I like Dark Star gear quite a bit. Raven Concealment, and that's not to say there aren't other appendix holsters that work well, but those are ones that I've got experience with. Todd has experience with. The Looper, a lot of people like. You really kind of have to experiment around and like we sort of said, find something that works for you that's specifically designed for that method of carrying. We got to go to break, Todd. We're talking with Todd Green from pistoltraining.com. Right now you're listening to Ballistic Radio.
So there is a kid who has apparently created a fully functional Batman suit.
How much do I need to pay him to come work for us?
I don't know. I'm sharing it right now. He used Kevlar, foam, and Kydex to create a punch, kick, and stab-proof Batman outfit.
Nice. Nice. We get to drop a surprise on Todd in this next segment that I'm looking forward to. So I'm curious to see his general reaction. And I don't think he's watching the Google Hangouts, so I'm not going to ruin the surprise right now.
Oh man.
Foam wedges. The foam that Keepers uses are good until they lose their shape. Melody Lauer she works for us now. So Melody Lauer, who works for us, came up with a cool mod using the gel pads from the Dr. Scholl's foot inserts that work pretty well too.
I should have had her done that to my holster while we were out there.
We were busy working. Yeah, I know, right?
All this work stuff you're having me do is getting in the way of me not working.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons later, right?
That's true.
I
Yeah,
forget.
we're doing that.
All right, perfect.
We're stopping by Arby's first because I'm starving.
That's fine. We actually have to go take my mom's trash up too. Shh! Don't tell anyone. I'm such a good son. I'm driving it up. I'm not.
All right.
I'm not making you do it. Though it's fun to watch you.
That hill sucks.
There we go.
Welcome back to Ballistic Radio. This segment brought to you by Tac Strike Steel Target Systems, makers of the quarter scale steel target and the arch frame target stand, which are literally the best steel targets and target stands I've ever used. Hit their steel targets with more than, we're coming up on 70,000 rounds, aren't we? Of rifle, pistol, and shotgun ammunition without a single problem. For more information, visit them at tacstrike.com. So we are talking with Todd Green from pistoltraining.com about the ins and outs of appendix carry. Todd, are you still there? Hey, perfect. Something I want to ask you about before we get to the end of the show, just because I want to make sure we have time to cover it. You got a charity that you started as well. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that? So, and the reason, see, this is a terrible segue, but the reason why I bring it up is, and this is kind of a teaser, Ballistic Radio and SKD Tactical are going to be working on a couple of things upcoming. I'm not going to tell you guys what, but a portion of the proceeds from that are going to be directly donated to Rampage for the Cure. And this this first you're hearing about it too, so I thought I'd surprise you on live radio because I'm a jerk like that or something. Yeah, well, if you haven't seen the product yet, it might be like that bag of implements that they sell, but we won't talk about that on air. So, but anyway, check that out, Rampage for the Cure. If you're feeling generous, it's an awesome charity doing really cool things. So, what have we left out? What are, you know, what haven't we covered about appendix carry that maybe we should? Right. Well, right. So, do you think that speaks more to, I mean, I know it happens in a lot of industries, but it seems very rampant in ours, where we find people whose personality or their doctrine or whatever you want to call it, their je ne sais quoi, speaks to us, and we start following that individual or group of individuals, and we start emulating them. And sometimes that works out well because they're doing cool things or good things. But sometimes we're doing things that maybe aren't the right choice for us in our situation. Yeah, yeah. Well, he's pretty small right now, man. So I don't know that he's still lifting 300 pounds. I'm kidding, Paul. Don't hurt me. Well, do you think that comes back into that? I mean, so I'm of the belief that anything that we do, whether it's, let's say we need to shoot someone, or let's say that we need to select your whatever it is, we should be able to clearly articulate why we've made that choice. And it seems to me, it seems to me if, yeah, it seems to me if we're not able to do that, then maybe we should step back and go, well, wait, why am I doing this? Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's, so I have a lot of people ask me stuff, well, what are you carrying right now? It's like, well, what I'm carrying right now is not necessarily indicative of what I would be carrying if this weren't my job to try different things. And I've certainly noticed my performance suffer that I've not been able to stick with one thing consistently for more than, 3-4 months at a time. And I think that's a really, I mean, and you've written about carry rotations and things like that in the past. And, if anybody wants to really get in depth on this stuff, go on to Todd's website, pistoltraining.com, pistol-training.com. Amazing articles there talking about a lot of these things, not just related to appendix carry, but it goes back to what you were saying, is admitting, the negatives in our own situation. Right. Right. Yeah, well, that sounds way too reasonable and not argumentative enough, Todd. I don't think we can agree to disagree like that. So, what would be your advice to people that, maybe outside of appendix carry, but people that are wanting to improve either the gun handling or their shooting skills, whatever it is? What would be your advice to them? Right. Right. Well, and once again, it doesn't seem like people want to acknowledge things like context. And the other thing too, and you just alluded to this, whether you're drawing from behind the hip or appendix, yes, there are differences, but when you break it down to establishing the grip, keeping your finger off the trigger, drawing to a number 2, or if you draw straight, whatever, executing your draw stroke, you can learn that from various different spots, and there's some carryover there. Right. Yeah. Hey, Todd, I really appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday to come on the show tonight. If people want to read your stuff or find out more about you, where can they do that at? All right. Hey, thanks a lot, man. I'd super appreciate it. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Hey, no worries. Be safe, man. Yep. Bye. So next week, I don't know, somebody cool or something like that. What, Jack?
We never know.
Yeah, we find
And you
out.
yell at me about us not knowing.
And that's okay. Make sure you check out our website, ballisticradio.com, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ballisticradio. Thanks for listening, everyone. As always, be safe and see you next week. Guys, we got to get out of the studio for the next show. I appreciate you watching. I am sorry for the technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. We'll get caught up on podcasts this week. I know we're behind right now because of shot, and Melody left her power cord out there. So anyway, take it easy, guys. See you. Bye.